Okay, just make sure it worked. And yeah, it looks like we are live. So I am here with Nick of Foodie Shnick's Gourmet Food, and he's located in the Bradford area, I believe, but he covers Bradford, Aurora Newmarket, and other areas if you're nice to him. And so we're just here and to learn a little bit more about him, what he's offering, and how he's servicing the York region area. So Nick, thank you for joining me and taking the time out of your day. I know it's been busy, so thank you for that. And I'm just going to dive into it. Like, how does Foodie Shnick actually work?
So the way it works is I have an online ordering system as well as a Facebook page. So they can reach out to me through, the Facebook page, or they can just go on and do an online order. I've offered a couple methods of communication between me and them. So whenever I receive their order, then I'll kind of shoot them a message, kind of find out what's the most convenient time for the delivery. And then, it's a simple e-transfer. I don't accept it until I'm out front of the person's house. They can wait until then. I'll drop off their front porch, send me the e-transfer. I'll accept it. And then, it's pretty simple concept. There's a lot of photos on my online ordering. I'm always posting stuff on my Facebook, on my Instagram, showcasing some of the items that I have available or things that are coming up later in the week. So yeah, it's a pretty simple concept.
Okay, cool. And is it sort of like a rotating menu, or do you have some staples you have or always have, or?
There is some items that I definitely keep as a staple. The number one big one has been pot pies, whether it's I've done butter chicken, pulled pork, beef and mushroom, chicken and bacon. So I've kind of rotated through doing different types of pot pies because they seem to be a big hit. I kind of stocked up so much on some of the other ones that I stopped making just the regular chicken pot pies. But if all goes well, hopefully I'll be having those back again come this weekend. So that'll be good.
That's awesome to hear. So that kind of covers what kind of foods do you offer, but are there other things other than pot pies that you're offering at this point?
Yeah. So do you want me to switch the camera and show?
Yeah, let's show everyone what you got for sure.
Sure. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
All right. So some of the items that I've got, these are homemade meatballs. I sell them in packs of 10. Nice. They're 1 ounce meatballs per one, so it's about 10 ounces per pack. I got some house cured pea meal. Oh, wow. I actually cure this in house for 4 days. Then I coat it in pea meal, wrap it up. I sell it by the pound, so each one could be different. This one right here is 14 ounces, but I try to get them as close to a pound as I can. But cutting it by hand makes it a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
I got chicken souvlaki. I've also done pork souvlaki. Right now I just have the chicken. It's been kind of a lot more popular than the pork, so I held off on that for a moment.
Yeah.
I got some pot pies here. They come in packages of 2. Those ones are the butter chicken right now. I got center cut, naturally smoked bacon.
Wow.
14 to 16 cut, so that means 14 to 16 slices per pound, and I sell that by the pound as well.
Wow.
These are some lamb burgers. So I buy New Zealand lamb. It's hormone free, GMO free, whatever, all the grass fed, all the good stuff. And I grind it here myself, make it into patties, gluten free, lactose free. I try to keep as many as my products gluten free and lactose free, just to keep the market a little bit more appealing, because I know those are things that people definitely consider and worry about nowadays, right?
For sure. I know I can relate. I found I was like wheat gluten intolerant like last fall. So, and I've always been lactose. So it's definitely a challenge nowadays with everything sort of in takeout and delivery to find things that you can get that fit those kind of things. So it's great that you have, foods that actually fit into those categories. So it's a lot more available to everyone. So.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to cater to a larger clientele. And I got nothing to hide. If people want ingredients, they want recipes, they want to know the product I'm using, I got nothing to hide. There's nothing I'm throwing in there that's a secret,
Yeah.
So these are my regular beef burgers. They're 18 to 72% grind, which means 72% meat protein to a 22% fat content. I sell those in packs of 4, so it's good for a little family. This is my house braised pulled pork. It's pretty
Oh,
simple. I
nice.
rub it down and I braise it in the oven for 12 hours in root beer and
Wow.
some bay leaf. So it's pretty straightforward. This is some of my barbecue sauce. This is lightly sauced, but I
Okay.
also include one of these packs, the 6-ounce barbecue sauce, as well as it's for sale on my thing. If you want to, you're making some ribs or you want to do your own pulled pork, whatever it might be,
Yeah.
maybe you just really enjoy the barbecue sauce. This is the last item I threw in today. This is
Yeah.
my hot sauce I made a while back. Just kind of a funny name to it. It's kind of when when I when I think of hot sauces, that kind of I'm a big hot sauce connoisseur. So
Okay.
when I think of hot sauces, I definitely think of those funny names and the slap your mama and all those funny names that I can say. So it's not super hot. It's actually fairly mild,
Okay.
almost I would say like a medium barbecue sauce kind of spice. But it's just it's my homemade barbecue sauce. It was an adventure that I started a little while ago. It didn't quite take off the
Yeah.
way I wanted it to. So I kind of took a step back because it's not cheap buying those bottles and packaging and all that stuff, and it's
I bet.
a pretty delicate process making sure that your pH levels are a certain level and it's properly sealed to allow it to be preserved for a long period of time. That stuff's
Yeah.
good for 2 years before it'll go bad. It's not like it's
Oh,
got a
wow.
very high vinegar content due to the amount of tomatoes in it, high acidity. So yeah, it's something that's preserved for a long time. You could buy a bottle and keep it in your fridge for months and months, and it's not going to go
Yeah.
bad on you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome
So
that you're able to put it back into the menu and offer it now to people.
yeah,
It's
and
great.
so I still had it, and I'm like, you know what, I might as well. It's still got the same branding. It's kind of what started the whole name is
Oh, cool.
which came behind that. Schnicks was my nickname growing up in high school, Schnicky. So it was just kind of it was a good way to promote it, and I got a buddy to make up the logo, and it was kind of just it was a fun thing at the time, but now
Yeah.
this I've taken a little bit more seriously, and I plan for it to be a lot more serious.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. And that kind of actually takes me to the next question, which is, why did you start out Foodie Shnicks, and where do you hope for it to go?
So I mean, as any young chef, everyone always, I dream of doing their own thing. I've always been on the fence of like, what kind of thing I would like to do, whether it be, a fine dining restaurant, a pub, maybe, a wing joint, a bird joint, whatever it might be, right? I'm pretty versatile when it comes to cooking and stuff. So when it came, me being laid off work and stuff and having a little bit extra time, me having access to vendors like Cisco and GFS and some of the bigger guys in the game,
Yeah.
it gave me a great opportunity to try to keep myself busy and to help grow a name for myself that hopefully could blossom into potentially having a little gourmet food shop with maybe a small amount of butchery stuff, bring in some gourmet stuff from around the world, some fancy cheeses, other small local companies, local butchers and stuff like that, and just continuing to pump out these kind of, I wouldn't say specialty items, but the stuff to make people's life a little bit easier right now, especially
Yeah.
potentially being quarantined. So I can, with the contactless delivery, it makes it easy if they're stuck inside for an ongoing period of time, and they can get something that's nice, homemade, restaurant quality, or maybe something that you feel like grandma made for you when you were a kid or something.
Yeah, for sure. There's a nice little sort of homemade meal that comes to your door, and prepackaged. You can buy a little bit of everything and then make the meals as you go and that sort of thing, which sounds like a great idea. And everything that you showed sounded really tasty, looked pretty good. And so what's the response been so far to what you've been offering?
Everything's been really good.
Yeah.
A lot of continuous orders,
Nice.
reorders and stuff, especially when people see that I'm doing other items or whatever, they're like, oh, I had the chicken pot pies, but now you're making butter chicken pot pies, and I love the burgers, so I'm gonna place another order and kind of try out that extra item that they maybe I'm not always offering, right? So
yeah,
the burgers are definitely going to be a staple, the souvlaki, the meatballs, and any sort of pot pie. And I mean, the response for the pulled pork seems to be really good. So that could potentially as well be an ongoing item. And people, I mean, who doesn't like bacon? So the bacon's been a hot
exactly.
seller as well, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I get people calling, ordering 4, 5, 6 pounds at a time. So
Oh wow, okay,
yeah,
that makes sense. Bacon is
yeah,
bacon, so I hear it. So
pretty much.
that's awesome. So you mentioned earlier that they have an order. There's an order form on your social pages that they can get to if they want to place an order. So then just refresh everyone's memory about what's the best, how that works, and then what areas you actually deliver to.
So right now I'm doing a little bit of Mount Albert. It's kind of in between the Bradford, Aurora Newmarket area. I offer free delivery in Bradford if it's over $40.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's a $2 charge. And same thing with Newmarket and Aurora. If it's the order's over $70, then it's free delivery. If not, it's a $4 charge. I tend to, if I got 3 orders going to the same area, I'm not going to charge someone. So I mean, sometimes it works out in people's favors, but they're more than willing to ask, when I got orders going to certain areas if they want to save themselves on that couple of dollars. Yeah, I mean, Mount Albert, I mean, for a delivery fee, I'm willing to go. I mean, I'm not going to say anywhere. I'm not going to drive to London to drop off
Yeah,
two
exactly.
pot pies. But I mean, if it's reasonable and feasible, then absolutely, I'm more than willing. I'm pretty flexible. I got some time on my hands, so why
Yeah.
not?
Makes sense. Do you do like a certain days where they can pre-order and then where you deliver, or how is that set up for you?
Usually, I go out around noon,
Okay.
the day of. So as long as I have the order in before noon
Mhm.
that day, it's usually not that bad of like it's okay.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, I get people putting in orders on Tuesday for Friday, right? So,
Oh, okay.
if I got 3 orders on Friday and someone placed that order on Thursday, but it's only $40 to Newmarket, it's like I'm already going the way. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to charge them a fee. That the fee is not included when ordering online. It's something that I add on, and then
Okay.
I supply them the total
Yeah.
when I confirm their order with their preferred method of communication, and then yeah, we just kind of go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got Jennifer that just commented that best chicken pot pie,
Yeah.
also amazing butter chicken pot pie. So there's a testimonial for you right there for everyone who's watching.
There you
Um,
go.
no, that's awesome to hear. So if people want to find out more, want to order, how do they get in touch with you? What are your social contacts that they can find you?
So if they go on to Foodie Schnick's Gourmet Food on Facebook,
Okay.
my phone number is available there,
Yeah.
as well as the order form, or they can message me. There's the bar right there. Hit a message, shoot me a message. I'm pretty responsive, pretty quick. The orders when they come through, I get an email, so I get an email notification. It pops up through an Excel program. I
Yeah.
crunch the numbers, contact them the way that they want to be contacted, and yeah. So, like I said, it's fairly simple. I made
Cool.
it pretty straightforward to make it easy for everyone, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the best way to make it pretty easy, which it sounds like it's really easy.
Yep.
I've linked to Foodie Schnick's Facebook page in the description of this video. So if you're looking to go over there, you just hit their name in the top of the description and you'll be able to get to them. And the order, I believe most of the posts have the order linked to them as well. Or you can just hit send a message and there you go. So very easy to access. And all the reviews I've seen in the local Facebook groups have been awesome reviews for your food too. So a lot of
Thank
social
you.
proof, a lot of people chiming in that, this is a great thing that you're offering. And, I can't wish you any more like success. Like you're just, hopefully it continues for you. And I
Yep.
think the fact that you're able to offer, contactless delivery and, you're a little bit flexible on the delivery rates depending on what's going on, just sort of helps everyone. And
Yep.
so I think it's just great what you're doing. And, hopefully, we'll talk in the future, and you'll be even bigger than what you are now. So hopefully that dream continues for you, Nick. So
Awesome.
looking forward to watching you grow. So but yeah, thank you for
I appreciate doing this. It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, it's awesome having you on. So thanks again for joining us.
Yeah.
And yeah, for everyone watching, keep an eye out for more of these. We're going to try and highlight more local restaurant owners and food delivery owners, and just wherever we can help the food industry, food and drink industry, wherever we can, and just shining in those lights on local people who are helping out and providing great value and great food to our local communities in York region. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you guys soon.
Okay. Best of luck. Thanks, man.
All right.